Hi guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. I feel like the last time I did a debt-free update, I tried to do it in like 1 or 2 takes with like minimal edits and it did not go to plan at all because I just ended up yapping and having to cut out so much. I'm sure this video will be just as yappy, but we're gonna try and reattempt it, just like keep it really casual, just a couple of friends catching up and talking about their personal finances and getting into the nitty-gritty. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Ella. I am 29. I do a lot of lifestyle content, personal finance videos, lots of vlogs. I love talking about money and like the crossroads between life and just like everyday life, travel, preparing for motherhood, but also like the budgeting side of things. So if you're into that, definitely subscribe. I feel like anytime I do a personal finance video, it always brings in a lot of new faces. So I have to do my little elevator pitch. I'm excited for today's video. I was watching back on my one from last year. It's been over a year since I did my first and only debt-free update. And I completely just have dropped the ball. I've just been in go mode, heads down, bums up, just getting things done, paying off debt. I thought now with us nearing the end of the year, it would be a good opportunity to check in and update you guys on where we're at and where we're going in the new year. As I always say, nothing is off limits. I am a nosy Nelly myself. And so the more information, the better. I'm all about financial transparency as well. I feel like as women, we are disadvantaged in so many ways. And so if we can open up the conversation around personal finance and really get transparent and honest with it, like that's the best way to learn. You don't know what you don't know, and just opening up that conversation around personal finance, like it's just so empowering. And I've seen the impact that can make in just the last few years of talking about my own financial journey. I think it goes without saying though, I'm obviously not a financial expert in any way, shape or form. So this is just me sharing what myself and my husband choose to do. I will say, as the years have gone on and as my income has grown, this isn't like a woe is me, but it's definitely become harder to share as like more opinions, more judgments come up, but whatever. Duck off a water's back. We're gonna get into it. Duck off a water's back? What am I saying? Water off a duck's back, right? Water off a duck's back. I don't know, pregnancy brain. I'm gonna blame it on the baby. To give you a bit of insight into our debt-free journey, we finished paying off our $30,000 car loan in July of last year, which was such an exciting moment. It meant we were consumer debt-free. The only debt we had left over was our mortgage and our HEX debt, which is like a student loan debt here in Australia. I feel like HEX debt, I said this before when I did my net worth update video, I just don't really see it as like a debt. It is a debt, it's a liability for sure, but it's also a debt that dies with you and is proportionate to your income. If you stop working for whatever reason, you don't have that debt looming over you because you're not making a paycheck. It comes out with like your taxes and stuff. So it's not something that we're focusing on. Our main focus right now is our mortgage. At the beginning of this year, we set ourselves a pretty mammoth goal of paying off an extra $50,000 of our mortgage on top of our regular repayments. Our regular mortgage repayments are about $3,500 a month, just to put it into perspective. So quite a mammoth goal to have that $3,500 a month that we're already paying, plus it works out to be about $4,200 a month extra that we're wanting to pay. That is a lot. Like back in January, that felt very unattainable. I was like, we're gonna have to girl boss manifest real hard. And we did it. Like we are so close to reaching that goal. Now, anytime I share that we're choosing to pay off our mortgage early rather than investing, I always get so much backlash, especially from the finance bros. And like, obviously the numbers don't lie. Logically, I know that the potential return on investing is a lot higher than it is to pay off our mortgage early. The potential return on investing, they say, is between like 7 to 10% versus the interest rate on our mortgage is only 5.7% now. But when you factor in capital gain tax and just like personal finance is so much more than just the numbers. And I talked about this on TikTok and my Instagram. Personal finance is just that, like it is personal. It's such a personal choice. And for me, I'm a very risk adverse person. I'm also not naive to the fact that although I'm making really good money right now, I'm doing social media full time. It's very lucrative. There is an expiry date on it. I don't know when that expiry date is necessarily, but I know I can't do this forever, or at least it won't be in the same capacity. I personally want to set myself and my family up for financial security. And I just don't feel like I can achieve that with just investing and investing so aggressively. We do still invest. We have our super funds or our retirement funds that we contribute to. And we also invest in ETFs. We do that on a monthly basis. So it's not like we're not investing at all. We're just choosing to be more aggressive with our mortgage payoff. That's just a personal choice. Honestly, when you crunch the numbers and like really look at it, when you factor in capital gain tax, there's actually not that much difference. So just to compare between the two, if we were able to maintain paying off an extra $4,200 a month, we would be mortgage free in the next 8 years, which is so exciting. That would save us a total of $398,872 in interest. which interest is the bane of my existence. That sounds quite appealing to me. That lights a fire in my belly. And I think that is also another component of personal finance. It's like what inspires you, what motivates you. Like investing, to be honest, doesn't do it for me. For some people it does, and that's great. The idea of being mortgage free and owning my own home, these four walls outright, like that is what does it for me. Like that's what gets me going. If we look at investing at say an average 8% return, that would give us $562,248,000. Then you also have to factor in capital gain tax. So it'd actually be quite similar. So that's why we're choosing to pay off our mortgage rather than investing. And that is a personal choice, not for everyone. When it comes to any personal finance decision, you really have to look at what matters to you, what your goals are, how you see your future, look at your risk appetite. There's so many different factors and there's no one size fits all. Like this is just what we are choosing to do. And like that might change in the future. We might be like, oh, it's actually not worth it. Interest rates are a lot lower. Let's start investing aggressively. So having a look at the nitty gritty numbers, our mortgage balance in August of last year was $593,173. That was like our starting amount. So far this year, from January to up until now, November, we paid $41,900.95 in regular mortgage repayments. That's just our normal monthly amount. Of those monthly repayments, $24,545.96 of that has gone towards interest. So right in the bank's pocket. And total that we've actually paid towards interest that's actually come off our loan from those regular monthly payments has been $17,354.99. That to me is, it's hard not to be disheartened. I've paid I keep saying myself and my husband. We paid $41,000, almost $42,000 on our mortgage, and only $17,000, less than half of that has gone towards the actual loan. Again, that to me is just like motivation. That is reassurance that I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing what's best for us and trying to pay off extra so that we can bring that down, and that eventually when we get to like over halfway point, more of our money will be going towards the principal rather than interest. Having a look at what we've paid off so far this year, we made an extra payment, $4,200 in January. So starting the year off strong. $6,200 in February. March, we paid $2,000. I feel like that was a big month of travel. April, $5,000, which is exciting. In May, we paid $4,200, which is like our benchmark, our ideal amount. June, we paid another $4,200 towards that. Same in July, $4,200. August, what happened in August? $3,500. Oh, maternity leave. I had to start putting money aside for myself. It was also at that point we decided we should book a baby moon and get some last minute travel in. And this is a prime example, like things change, things fluctuate. In the matter of a few short months, our priorities completely shifted, and that's okay. September, we paid $500. However, we made up for it in October. October was my biggest income month ever. I made the most amount of money I've ever made in my entire life. Maybe ever will, I don't know. And we were really intentional with it. In October, we made an extra payment of $13,500. The contrast between that and September, which this is also just social media and the beauty of social media and having a variable income. Half of what I made in October, I probably should have been paid for in September, but it didn't happen like that. Everything got paid out in the same month. So, and that brings us to present day. At the moment, we've paid off an extra $47,500 so far this year, which brings our current mortgage balance to $510,081. We are so close to cracking that 500K. We're also only $2,500 away from that $50,000 goal. That felt so unachievable, so unattainable in January. I actually could not be prouder of that. One of my favorite websites is this one, Mortgage Monster. Anytime I'm lacking inspiration or I need that little extra kick up my butt, maybe we'll come into some extra lump sum of money, tax return, big brand payout, whatever it might be. I'm not quite sure what to do with it, what the best course of action is. I come to this website because this really puts everything into perspective. You just enter your property details, interest rate, term loan, and then you come down here to extra repayments. So with our extra $50,000 that we're contributing this year, I can see that will take off 4 years and 8 months off the life of our loan. Almost 5 years we're shaving off just by that extra amount, and it will save us $201,954. That's the impact that $50,000 will make in 1 year. And that to me is just, it's motivation at its finest. You can change the frequency. So do like a monthly frequency if you want to change it to $4,200 a month, which is kind of what we're aiming for. That'll see us paying off our mortgage by 2033. Yeah, 2033. Which is really not that far away, like 8 years from now, we will be mortgage free if we continue on that same trajectory. It'll save us $419,586 and take 19 years and 1 month off the life of our loan. Like, does bits for me, it really does. So that is where we're at in present day. That's where we're at on our debt-free journey. We have paid off $47,500 extra of our mortgage. Our current mortgage balance is sitting at $510,000. I think I've mentioned this before, but at the moment we're choosing to keep it in our offset account. An offset account, for anyone that is not up with the home loan mortgage lingo, or maybe you're from another country, because I think it's just an Australian thing, I want to say. Most banks will allow you to open up an offset account when you take out a home loan. The offset account attaches to your mortgage. Whatever you keep in your offset account offsets the interest on your home loan. So it kind of acts in reverse of a savings account. Rather than gaining interest, you're saving interest. So you have a mortgage of $500,000 and you have $50,000 sitting in that offset account, you'll only pay interest on $450,000. At the moment, those extra payments are sitting in that offset account for the time being. Originally, we were paying it directly off the loan because it was really satisfying seeing that actual mortgage balance come down. But just long term, depending on what we do with this property, whether we turn it into an investment property or not, there can be certain tax implications. So just while we're like deciding what to do, that's where we're keeping it. Also just gives us like a nice buffer, a bit of an emergency fund if we need to ever use it. But we don't really see it as our money. Like that's for our mortgage, that's for our future. Speaking of future and future plans, I really have no idea what next year is going to look like for us. I think we'll almost definitely continue to pay off our mortgage. That just makes sense. I don't see that changing anytime soon, and also continuing to invest where we can. I think a balance of both is what works best for us. I don't know if we're going to have this huge mammoth goal going into 2026, just because I don't know what life is going to look like. Next year is a big year of change for us. Our baby is due early Feb. We're going to have bigger fish to fry. Like there are some years where we have been so gung-ho, focused on our finances. Actually, pretty much every year since we moved in together, it went from saving for a house to saving for a wedding to paying off our car loan, paying extra on our mortgage. And like, this is the first year I feel like going into 2026 where we'll still have a direction, we'll still have goals, but I don't think we'll be so ambitious with it. My only reservation with that though is we do tend to spend more frivolously when we don't have a big goal that we're working towards. Like that goal is such a motivator for us and really keeps us focused. So I don't know, we'll definitely set some financial goals, but probably reel it back in from what it's been this year. Looking to the future as well, I definitely expect my income to take a bit of a dip as I naturally take some more time off and just slow down a little bit with work. I do plan on taking probably like a month or two away from doing any new paid partnerships, and that's like a large portion of my income. I have been proactive with setting money aside, so I have about $5,000 sitting in a maternity fund for me in my business account. That is money that I can pull from those lower months where I'm not making as much. We've also worked out our bare bone expenses. All of our needs are covered by Nick's income, and so anything else that I make is for extra fun spending and saving, investing. We're still very much toying with the idea of an investment property. That was something that we talked about at the beginning of this year. At the moment, it would actually probably make more financial sense to turn this into an investment property and to buy a new primary residence. The value of this property has grown dramatically since we bought it a few years ago. And so when we're looking at potential investment properties, all of them are more expensive than this one. To me, it doesn't make sense, like financially and just lifestyle wise as well, to buy an investment property that is worth more than this one that we're living in. So whether we turn this into an investment property in a few years time and buy a new property, I don't really know what that looks like for us, but it's definitely not like an immediate thing. Like we're about to have a baby. We've got other big life changes and things that we need to navigate. So my biggest piece of advice, whether you're on your own debt-free journey or you have a big savings goal, is to keep your why at the center of everything you do. This is always something I come back to, and I'm sure next year I'll come back to it as well. It is so much easier to save. It is so much easier to say no to things when you remind yourself of your why. Anytime you go to make a frivolous purchase, for example, chocolate at the servo, asking yourself if that's a want versus a need, checking in with yourself, asking yourself like, is this gonna help me get any closer to my goal? And keeping that why and the reason why you're doing it at the center of everything you do is really what keeps you motivated. For me, it's not about paying off an extra $50,000 for my mortgage. I actually couldn't care less about that. I'm not thinking of that when I stop myself buying something. I'm thinking of being mortgage free at 35, being able to take my family on holidays because I have so much more disposable income, just like the freedom that comes with that. I'm not thinking about the goal necessarily, but the emotional impact that can have and like the why, the reason why I'm doing this. For you, you might be saving for a wedding, and I think rather than seeing it as, oh, I've got to pay for my wedding, it's like, I get to pay for my wedding. I get to have the best day of my life. I get to celebrate with all my loved ones. Reminding yourself of why you're trying to save money, why you're on this debt-free journey will really keep you focused. And if that why doesn't align with you, can I say why one more time? If that reason, if that goal doesn't align with you, it's gonna be so much harder to save. I hate to say it. You're gonna lose motivation. So making sure it's actually something that aligns with you, I think is the most important thing. Not because you think you have to, because society expects you to, or someone's pressuring you to. Like, do it because it's something that you want and it's what fuels you and speaks to your soul, you know? Not to get all deep with it, but that's just something that's really helped me over the years. Anyway, that's a little debt-free update. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. I love you so much, and I will see you very, very soon for another video. Bye guys.